I call myself the mom boss because I do everything very strategic. In my house, I had an entire command center, no joke. Had this huge calendar on it. On Sundays, you have to tell me where you need to be and when, why, how.
For the whole rest of the week.
For the whole week.
And it's up on a board.
On a board in the kitchen. So everybody knew what was going on. My husband and I still do this to this day, and there's no kids in the house. If it's not on that board, you're not going. Because now I have to arrange, okay, where am I? Am I working? Am I here? Am I there? Okay, let me call your sister. Let me call Miss Jen, or let me call this person. So after we do our Sunday meeting, then I call my tribe. And they'll say, what's your holes? And I'll tell them, well, this is what I need here and there. And then that's it.
Wow.
But that was the only way that I could do it.
Welcome to Women and Work, the show where we take an inside look at how women are overcoming our own unique challenges as we grow our careers, build a business, and nurture relationships and family. I'm Diane Mocha, founder and CEO of MomSub, the childcare app that connects you to a substitute mom. And I want you to know that work can fit your life. Our guests show you the way that they've done it. Today, I'm with Dr. Felicia Dortch-Greer. Felicia has a PhD in business and has worked as a nurse, but she's focused her career in entertainment, working as a model, a publisher, and film director, producer, and screenwriter. She's now a television host and co-owner of a music and film company. Thanks for being here, Felicia.
Thank you. Wow. I didn't know I did all of that, but
you have, and we were just talking about the fact that kids are always wondering, what's she doing now?
Exactly. So on the way here, my older daughter, because they call me, my husband will tell you, they call me all day long, every day. She's like, Mom, what are you doing? Oh, I'm headed to do a podcast interview. She's like, oh my God, for what now?
Well, we're going to focus about all those things, but I want to start out by talking about some of the challenges you face specifically because you're a woman. We know in the entertainment industry, because of the Me Too movement, there are landmines sometimes that women have to avoid. And you've worked in other fields that are very demanding, like being a nurse. So tell me, what are some specific challenges that you felt you had to overcome because you're a woman?
Well, being a mother. Because before I met my husband, we've only been married, it'll be 3 years next week. So being a single mother of 4 kids and working as a nurse and pursuing other dreams like screenwriting and modeling, my kids were homeschooled. That's how I made it work. And how I made that work as a nurse, I worked as a legal nurse consultant. So I worked for a law firm. And I did it on purpose so I could be available to my children. So I navigated the space of let me make my job work around my kids. I've been a nurse for 27 years in the operating room. So when they were babies, when the twins were babies, I hired a nanny, work only weekends. So I could be off during the week because it was cheaper. And then as they got older, and the other 2 got older, then I said, okay, I can go back to the OR. That didn't work. So I said, okay, my kids are struggling in school. The nanny's raising my kids more than I am. So let me find something I can be at home. Found something from home, kept the twins at home and raised them and wrote at the same time.
While you were teaching them and homeschooling them?
Yes, homeschooling, working, writing for other people, writing books, doing magazines. I've been in 30 magazines on the cover of 5 internationally and here in the States, and just putting myself out there. And they're my greatest cheerleaders at that time. My opportunity to be in a film, I had to fly to Philadelphia. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to make this work? And my older daughter's like, Mom, the kids are homeschooled. And so I was like, well, I can leave them here with you. She's like, no, I didn't say that. Let's not go that far. So then I thought about, all right, I can't afford to fly us all to Philadelphia. Then I had a text message. I read it. It was a client of mine that wanted me to ghostwrite a book for them and was ready to pay up front. So now I get this money and I'm like, okay, I can do this, I can do that. And my daughter's like, no, book your hotel, get your flights for you and the twins, and y'all go. And so I was like, no, I'm not, that's not being an adult. I can't do that. And she's like, and so all of them attacked. They were like, Mom, you tell us to go for our dreams and you're not going for yours. So I was like, all right. So my daughter got on and booked everything and we flew to Philly. So what I did is I incorporated a homeschool activity to see the Liberty Bell for history and everything else. So they were still being taught while I was on set. So we just kind of did both. So it's just a lot of navigating, selecting jobs that's going to help me work with them. And that's what I stuck with.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack. Let's go back and talk about, did you always want to go into this industry, the entertainment industry, even though you studied other things? And when did you start pursuing that? Was it before you had kids?
This started with me as a fifth grader. So I've always loved to write. I create stories all day, every day. My husband and I do it all the time. We'll see a person walking down the street, create a whole backstory. I'm so good at it. People will ask me, "Oh my God, how long have you known them?" I'm like, I have no idea who that is. But I just make stuff up. So I won awards in elementary. I won awards in middle school. I'm going to be honest and say I wrote papers for the football team. That's how I made my money in high school. That's how I made my money in college. But my mom is from the school of knowledge of you cannot make money as a writer. You have to be in medicine or teacher or, crime or something that's going to make sure you have a job. Because I wanted to go to college for writing. So I was like, okay, what else do you like? Well, I'm a nerd. I love science. So I took so much science. I got an honors diploma in science in high school. So I was like, well, I'll be a nurse. I just picked one because I love the body. So I was like, I'll be a nurse. So I went to nursing school. But the whole time I'm in nursing school, I'm writing. I wrote books. I wrote books for other people. And I just kept going. So when I got older, I decided, I was like, you know what? How can I do this? And it was a moment of time with my first marriage where I was being abused. I went through domestic violence. Was nearly killed. So at that point, I remember that day I'm laying in the floor and I just remember that I wasn't going to come out of that room alive. So I said, okay, God, if you let me out of this room, I will live for your purpose. I will do what I know I'm destined here to do. Somehow my daughter called the cops. I woke up, police in my house, and that's exactly what I did. So the minute I started getting on Facebook, because I wasn't allowed to be on Facebook, I got on Facebook. The first post I saw was learn how to be a screenwriter. So I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, how am I gonna pay for it? Money just appeared somehow. Got the money, paid for it. And me and John have been writing partners for the last 7 years. We're still partners to this day. And then one step after another, it was screenwriting. Then it was more modeling. So I took pictures for a friend of mine showing his son how to take pictures. My brother saw it and posted it, and I nearly had a heart attack because at this time, my self-esteem is in the dumps, right? I'm away from the crazy man. I'm back in Texas, and I'm like trying to just get my bearings. And I cried. I was like, why would you post something like that? But then I got hit by, I think it was TL Modeling for Houston location and New York. Then I got a message from another modeling agency. So I was like, okay, let's do this. So then I started the modeling again because I was modeling in high school and I stopped. So I started modeling again, started writing, and then I had an opportunity to get in a movie. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. So I was like, all right. And the wild thing about it is another movie that I was able to get in is how I met my husband. We met on a movie set. So it was just pushing the path for me. And that's how I knew that this is direction I was supposed to go in. Now I still do nursing, but I do more of the film because I feel like once my husband and I are in a position where income wise it'll cover us, then I'll let nursing go. So my goal is to be done with nursing by December.
Wow. Wow.
So
Well, we want to hear how you're on your way to that after 27 years of having that kind of steady paycheck, but it's flexible enough that you can do other things with the kids and these pursuits. And so you escaped that tragedy, that overwhelming difficulty in your life, knowing that, okay, I have to live my dream and my purpose. And that's when you really started pursuing these things.
yes,
And at that point, how many kids did you have?
4.
4 children. So you were on your own with 4 kids and you
Yes.
had the steady income of the nursing?
Steady income of
Okay.
the
But you're
nursing.
then still trying to pursue these other things. Oh my gosh, that's so difficult. So you said you did hire someone to watch the kids?
I hired a nanny for the twins. So my
And
kids are this is really going to add to it. The fourth child. So I have an older daughter, then there's another child, and then the twins. The reason why I label it like that because that second person after the oldest is actually his kid he had on me while we were married. and I raised her from birth. So that's how I ended up with 4 kids. But birth wise, my kids are 12 years apart. So my oldest daughter was old enough to come and go, So the twins is who I need to care for. And Tyler, which is my fourth child, she didn't live with me all the time until she was 13. So I had her as a baby, then they took her back, and then I got her again. And then once he and I separated and got a divorce, she stuck with me.
Wow. Who is a stepmom.
Yeah.
Okay. But you open your heart and
Yes.
you said, that's my child too. And so tell me about the experience with childcare. Was it easy to just find someone?
Absolutely not. So first of all, twins in daycare is over $1,000 every 2 weeks. So I found a home daycare. First they were in a regular daycare and they kept getting sick. I can't keep calling in. So I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. So I found a home daycare, and this lady, her name was Miss Gabby. I love her. She catered to my twins, and I just had the bright idea to offer her to just come to my house because I work 12-hour shifts in the operating room. I'm an operating room nurse, so I do surgeries all day long. And I had to figure out a way for my kids to be at home instead of me packing them up, taking them out, then bring them back. And plus someone to be there for my daughter because now she's in the teen years. The last thing I need is a teenage daughter in the house by herself for 12 hours and can calculate the distance between how long it's going to take mommy to get home, right? So she agreed. So she became a nanny. So what I did, I was like, okay, I can't do this during the week. I need to be available for my daughter too. So I found a weekender program. So I worked as a nurse Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 12 hours and off Monday through Thursday. That's how I was able to afford childcare.
And the nanny worked then those
Yes, same
weekend
hours,
hours.
yes.
The same nanny.
Okay. And I allowed her to bring her 2 kids with her.
Oh, and so you probably got, a more affordable rate.
Absolutely. And
Because-
she cooked and she cleaned.
Because she was going to be with her kids anyways.
Exactly.
So, obviously it's more work and she needs to get paid for that. But knowing that I can earn this extra money while I'm with my kids, and then she was taking care of your home. And and then she could have that during the week, those hours to do what she wanted. So that worked
Right.
for many years for you.
For a long time.
But you were still pursuing those other things.
Yes.
Okay. And you were pursuing those other things during the week when you were with your kids.
Right.
And you were modeling that for them to see
Right.
you pursuing your dreams. And so how did that work out? I mean, you say, "Oh, these opportunities just landed in my lap." But for most people that doesn't happen. I would imagine you had to have some preparation before those opportunities came along. What were you doing to encourage or manifest even those opportunities?
I just kept believing that it was going to happen, to be honest. Like I'm sitting here thinking about, like I said, I was never on Facebook because I wasn't allowed to be. And
By your
after
ex?
by my ex. So once my daughter set up my Facebook account, because she kept on me, she was like, "Mom, family members are trying to reach you." And I was like, okay, set it up. And so when I finally got on it, the first thing I see is screenwriting. And then the second post I saw was how to publish books on your own. And so I went through the course, and this lady, she's a good friend to me now, and she taught me how to publish books for other people. So I was like, let me figure this out. I can make a business out of this. So when I see an opportunity, I think of a way to help someone else, but also get paid for it. So I did that for 5 years on the side of publishing books for other people, building their site for them, teaching them how to do it, and teaching people how to write movies. And it just kept going. So the networking, LinkedIn, is phenomenal. So I just started networking with people, and they started reaching out to me. So then I'd get another opportunity. And I'm a learner. So I'll get on set. I'm not talking. I'm not, messing with anybody. I'm learning. I want to see what the director's doing. I want to see what this person's doing. I've had people walk up to me, like, you're really quiet. So as I'm in Philadelphia, luckily I don't work at this place anymore. But as a legal nurse consultant, I brought my laptop with me. And I worked on set for my job, my full-time position as a legal nurse, while I was waiting to be called to set to do what I needed to do. So the writer came up to me. He's like, "You always have your laptop. What are you doing?" So instead of me saying, "Oh, I'm working from Philadelphia," I said, "I'm a writer."
You didn't want them to think you were distracted with another job.
Exactly.
You're
No, I
pursuing
know
something
how
creative.
to network.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Really? Let's keep in touch." There you go.
Okay.
So then the casting director came around to make sure all the cast people that he, casted and everything were okay. And he's like, "What are you doing?" "I'm a writer." Oh, you write movies? Oh, yeah, I write screenplays. Let's keep in touch. That keep in touch went to another opportunity, and it just kept going from there.
Wow. And you brought your kids so that
Everywhere.
you didn't miss out on these. But that's not an easy thing to do because your kids are, even if they're not involved in school, they have friends, they have activities, there's this birthday party, whatever coming up. You know, you have kids of different ages. How were you navigating that on your own? Did you have a village? Did you have family nearby? Did you form a friend group with other moms? You know, what helped you so that you weren't just always feeling like you were going in a million directions?
A friend group of moms and my older daughter. My older daughter a lot. So I paid her as a nanny very often. So I could teach her working skills. I even made her fill out an application, did an interview and everything. So I used to do travel assignments in the summers. And I did this because my mom, she had a brain aneurysm when the twins were born. And she just fell into a depression. And, you know, family's around at the beginning and then family disappears. So I was worried about her. And at the same time, to be honest, I was trying to get away from my first husband. So I was like, you know what, let me do a travel assignment. Craziest thing I could have ever done was left and went to California with 8-month-old twins and a 12-year-old, you know, and my mother who just had an aneurysm. What was I thinking?
But you did it.
I did it. So we go do this travel assignment, and my daughter is the nanny. My mom had to fly back home, and she wanted to do this forensic thing at Stanford. So I was like, okay, you need to put in a notice to see if my mom would cover your shifts, you know. So I did everything as if she worked for me. Also, I didn't want her to grow resentment for her siblings because she had to always watch them. So I turned it as a job. So she did a lot for me. And so did my mom. And then once they got older and my mom wasn't able to help with the twins and my daughter's off to college at this point, we started going to Trail Life and American Heritage, which is Christian scouting. And they're also a homeschool community. So I had moms all over the place. If I couldn't get to them, they got to them, you know, so we just took care of each other, whether it was cooking, picking kids up, taking them to this place, taking them to that place. We all did it together. I had a group in Tennessee when we lived in Tennessee, and I had a huge group in Texas. So that's how I was able to do it. Both my twins have what I call their pseudo mom and dad. Anything I need. Still to this day, my son's in the military. My daughter, she's here with us. And if he needs anything, they go get him. You know, they come get her. They fly out there. It's just a community, and we've been like that since they were little.
That's a lot of coordinating.
It is.
So
And
what kind of structure did you need to have to make sure that things didn't fall through the cracks, that you weren't like, wait, she's still over there. We were supposed to pick her up an hour ago? Or did you have a lot of those things? Because there's moms out there that have those fails and they feel like every day,
Yeah.
you know, somehow they don't have it pulled together, and someone like you just has it all magically pulled together.
absolutely not magical. A lot of work and dedication. So I call myself the mom boss because I do everything very strategic. In my house, I had an entire command center. No joke. Had this huge calendar on it. On Sundays, you have to tell me where you need to be and when, why, how.
For the whole rest of the week.
For the whole week.
And it's up on a board.
On a board in the kitchen. So everybody knew what was going on. My husband and I still do this to this day, and there's no kids in the house. If it's not on that board, you're not going. Because now I have to arrange, okay, where am I? Am I working? Am I here? Am I there? Okay, let me call your sister. Let me call Miss Jen, or let me call this person. So after we do our Sunday meeting, then I call my tribe. And they'll say, what's your holes? And I'll tell them, well, this is what I need here and there. And then that's it.
Wow.
But that was the only way that I could do it because, again, now my daughter is in college. So it's just me and the twins. So now I have to navigate where are we going and what are we doing? And at the same time, I kept the same job that was going to work around them. So I know it sounds like it was easy, but I cried a lot because I was tired, but I knew I had to keep going because I do have a huge family. But unfortunately, I'm not the family member that gets the help. I'm the one that give the help. You get what I'm saying? So it's like when I need something, it's like, oh, I don't know what to tell you. I can't do that.
Where's your family?
Texas.
And how'd you end up in the Chicago
That
suburbs?
guy, my husband.
Where'd you meet him? So
Ohio.
all these things going on. You're like a drill sergeant. You got a
Yes.
structured life. You're pursuing your dreams. You're working your steady job. You're handling all the kids. You're building friendships to help with all that. And then you are not having any time for yourself,
None.
other than to cry.
Yes.
So romance is usually not even on the radar,
Not even.
especially after having gone through, everything. So many women will just put up a wall and say, I don't ever want to be with a man, And so how did you open up to that? Were you pursuing it? Did you recognize that it was something needed in your life?
Wasn't really pursuing it. I needed some healing time. I did date before I met my current husband, and it was things that I saw that I already did, so it's like, yeah, no, I already got the bumper sticker and a t-shirt. I'm not going back there. So it was more praying to open myself up and to be okay that there is somebody out there that's not going to treat me like crap, So I said, I'm not going to look for it. I'm just going to see if it happens. So I flew to Ohio to do a movie. And I'm sitting there because I'm the new person.
Kids were with you?
Nope, kids were at home
With the
sister.
oldest. Oh,
Yeah.
with sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got the opportunity and I sat and I talked to them about it. I did not leave without talking to them about it to see how they felt about it. And it was like, oh my God, this is a great idea. Do it.
How old were the twins?
At this time, the twins were probably 13 or 14.
Okay.
And big girl is out of college and she's back in
Oh,
Texas.
okay. And your sister came and watched the
No,
twins.
older daughter, their sister.
Oh, their sister, not your sister.
I have no sisters. I have 6 brothers.
Oh.
So-
Okay, their sister, the oldest daughter, is
daughter.
watching the
Yeah.
young teens. Okay.
So at this point, she's graduated from school.
And you're paying her again.
Paying her again.
She's following the rules.
Right. So she's back home in Texas with us. And she's like, Mom, you got to do it. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I flew to Ohio and I'm in there with everybody else. Now, everyone knows each other because the movie was initially a play. I'm the only newbie, along with my co-writer. He was there because he knows the guy that wrote it and all that. So in walks this guy, my husband, and it just took my breath away. And I've never seen that happen before at all. I meet people all the time. I'm on set a lot, and I'm like, psh, whatever. But when he walked in, it's like I just stopped. And I said, who is that? And it's like, oh, that's just Chris Greer. I was like, psh, he can get it. Yeah. And they were like, what? Because the other guy that was there, he liked me, but I was like, I got a boyfriend because I was not interested in him.
You just said that.
I just said it.
You didn't have a boyfriend.
I had somebody, but I wasn't, we were like, psh, done. But I was like, I'm going to tell him whatever because I don't want to be bothered with him. But when he walked in, it was all game. I was like, oh yeah, I got to see who that is. And we talked or whatever. And first 15 minutes, he asked me to marry him.
Wow, that's love at first sight, no doubt.
I think he was just trying to be cocky. But we joked and laughed about it. And I was like, yeah, I'm game. What are you doing next Tuesday? Let me ask my children. We just sat there and talked about it and kind of left it alone because they started introducing everybody. And then he and I walked to the store together. The wild thing about it is we were literally dressed alike. Black Adidas sweatpants and a shirt. And it was just weird to the point where everybody else noticed. And they made a joke to him about it. All right, now, Tony, they gave him his, the name that he played, the character name. And Tony's kind of a womanizer. So he's like, all right, Tony, now, because they see him walking with me. After we shot the film, we really didn't talk much until I flew back to Chicago because I had to do another movie. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to be in Chicago, if you're free. And the crazy thing is, we were there with his ex-girlfriend. So who I asked, I was like, who is that? That was his ex-girlfriend. I didn't know. And she said something all rude about, that's just Chris Greer or whatever. And then she kind of made it like they were still together. So that's kind of why I just backed off and not really said anything. So when I flew to Chicago, I texted both of them. She was busy. So he created an impromptu barbecue that he swore he had already planned and cooked everything in his house. But so I showed up and I called my kids. I was like, this guy is inviting me to his house. I don't go to anybody's house when I fly out of town because I won't. I don't care. I've been invited by celebrities to go somewhere and I won't go. Because I just don't feel safe doing that by myself. But it was something by him that I felt like I knew him. I felt comfortable. And my kids, Mom, go. You never go anywhere. What did your brother say? You're not going to meet anybody unless they're a deacon at church. Go somewhere. I was like, okay, fine. So I go. I was like, y'all have my location. So I went and I had a blast and we just talked because I'm a mentally stimulated person. I talk about things that most people don't. And he was able to keep up with that. And it just felt like I knew him and I never met him in my life. And we've been together ever since.
Did you move
I moved.
at that point?
Only reason why I moved, because y'all winters are brutal, is because we do a lot of filming here. He does a lot here. He's been an actor for over 20 something years. So he's been on everything and does everything towards this way, Wisconsin and other places. So it just didn't make sense to be in Texas and fly back and forth. So we dated a while and I would fly back and forth so he could get to know me before I introduced him to the tribe. And then he was in a play and then I flew them out here for the first time.
And then he has a tribe.
And he has a
5
tribe.
children.
5.
So when did you meet them? At the barbecue?
No, I met his daughter first, and then the other ones just kind of fell.
And they were grown at
They're
this point.
grown, yeah.
Okay. And your children now, how old are your twins?
19. So the
So when they
oldest,
came here, they had to go to, I was going to say high school, but you were still homeschooled?
homeschool. So we did give them the chance to go to Chicago Christian, because every single year I asked them, "Do you want to go to school?"
Right.
And no. So this, when we got here, they was like, "Yeah, we want to go," because we had difficulty trying to find a homeschool group. So they tried it for a semester, met some good friends, but they're like, yeah, no, we like homeschool better because we don't want to get up. We want to do it how we want to do it. And I was like, okay, fine. So at this point, they're going online. So it's really nothing that I need to do, but other than make sure on the parent portal that they're doing these things. And what we did is to help them integrate into being here, we continued letting them go back to Houston to do different activities. Like they went to prom, their homeschool prom in Houston. They went to different events in Houston. We had field trips in Houston where we were gone for weeks at a time. So we still navigated back and forth.
That's a lot.
It is a lot and it's insane. But because for me, emotionally, they went through so much that I had to try to figure out a way to weave it to where it just wouldn't be just pick up, go over here. Because 2 things that are in that. One, they've never seen mommy be permanent with somebody. Yeah, she dated, but now this man is now my stepdad. So they got to deal with that. And then they have a narcissistic father that's now pushing things in their head about a stepdad that he never even met. And then it's the change. We don't know anybody here. This is the North. We live in the South. Everything's so vastly different. So I try to baby step it and allow them to, you want to go home? Go home. Because I kept my house for a whole year before I emptied the house and sold it and was here permanently.
Oh, wow.
I kept it because my daughter was still there. By this time, she has a daughter. So she stayed in Texas with her daughter in my house. And I just let the twins fly back when they wanted to fly back. When they felt like they needed to be home, go home.
And they had somewhere to stay with your oldest daughter.
Right.
Okay. So they had 2 homes in a sense.
Yes.
So they could be comfortable. So in looking at all these things you've done, where you really made this change, where you said, I'm going to pursue my life the way I want. And despite doing all these things, you still felt you had to keep the nursing to have that steady paycheck. And you still felt you wanted to homeschool the kids, and they liked that, which is, a challenge in and of itself.
Yes, it is.
And so all these different challenges, I wonder if you ever think, I made this harder on myself than I needed to. Maybe, was it worth it to pursue all these things, to try to make everything fit the way you wanted it, which is what we talk about on the show. Make work, make your career, make your passions fit your life, and instead of having your life have to fit around your job, right? You've always changed things, but it takes extra effort. I've kind of did it myself with my own journalism and being a serial entrepreneur. And it takes a lot of extra effort. And sometimes you're, like you say, you're tired, you're crying, you're exhausted. You're like, why am I doing this to myself? So when you look back, knowing now, what you know, if you could go back, and you knew that then, would you do anything differently? Did you feel like you made it harder on yourself in any way?
No, because I could be dead. You know what I mean? Like that instance, I could have been dead. And I made a promise to myself that no matter what. So I'm the person that is always helping everyone else build. I've never had anything for me. It's either my kids, my parents, my brothers, my friends. It's never me. Me, I push over here. And when the opportunity came, and after that happened, I said, I cannot do that anymore. I can't, because I can tell you exactly what would have happened if I didn't push myself and do it. I would probably be the director of a hospital, because I've been a director of a hospital. I would have stayed there and I would have been a director. My kids would have attended school and I would not have left. I would have never met Chris. I would have never had the opportunities that I had before me, because I would have stayed stagnant in that spot. When I was in Tennessee on a travel assignment, I ended up staying there and building a house there. And that's where a lot of the abuse happened, because now I'm isolated from my entire family. Okay, now if I would not have pushed myself to talk to the lady at Little League basketball, then I would have never met the women's group that encouraged me to get to leave, or to even try to leave before he, did what he did. And I would still be with him and I probably would be dead. So no, I wouldn't have done anything different. I knew it was going to be hard, but I had to choose me, because I never do. And it hurt a lot of people. My oldest daughter was mad because I left, because I was her support system. But I'm glad I did leave, because it showed her she could do it with her own. I provided a life of easy. I cooked every single day. Bills were paid. Everything was taken care of. I helped her with her daughter. I stayed home working from home to help her with her daughter. So when I left, it was like, whoa, what are you doing? But then it showed her, hey, I got this. And then it also showed me that you can choose you and it's okay. Not everybody's going to be happy about it. It's going to be tough, but this could have happened too. I can guarantee you I would still be there if I didn't make a choice for me.
And so by choosing you, you can still contribute to others, but you almost have more to pour from your cup, right? When you choose yourself, even if it's hard, do you feel more fulfilled because you're every day choosing the thing that you want to do instead of the guilt, of doing something for someone else because you're supposed to?
Yes, I do. And it also showed my children that you can do it no matter what. Because you got to keep in mind, let's go further back than that. I was a teen parent. So I'm a teen parent. I still graduated on time with an honors diploma in science with my high school class. I put myself through nursing school along with my daughter, who went to nursing school with me for 2 semesters because I couldn't afford daycare. Okay, I got past that, got another degree and another degree. Now I'm married. I got more kids. I'm working through this. I go through domestic violence. I get out of that. I meet somebody else. I'm pursuing my career, and now I'm here. And my kids have seen it all. So how can they ever say I can't do that when I did all of that with everything that I had going on? On top of a mother with an aneurysm, 3 strokes, and now I'm taking care of her. And I'm navigating everybody else and still pushing every day. They cannot come to me with an excuse. You get 5 minutes to wallow about it. Now, what's your solution? Because I don't understand it. I'm hard on my husband. He went back to school to get his degree. He's like, oh my God, I was like, don't even try it. Because I don't understand it. It was hard. It sounds like I had it together, but every day I had to reevaluate my plan and switch, pivot, navigate, and go. Is either do that or now sit here and complain, man, I really wish I could have did this, or I really wish I could have did that. Absolutely not. Because when I meet God, I do not want to say, oh, well, I tried. Well, did you really? Because I gave you this, this, and this, and you did nothing with it. Absolutely not. Not after saving my life, no.
And now, with all that you have going on, you have even bigger dreams.
Yes.
And you've got this goal to leave nursing. Not that you don't enjoy it, but you've got more things you want to pursue. And you told me before we started this interview that you're opening a film studio in Africa and you're going to Geneva, Switzerland to launch it. So tell me about the next endeavors and where the world's going to see you and hear about you.
Oh, absolutely. So I have partnerships with several different people, my husband and I. On one end, I have a partnership with about 4 films that I wrote on a 15-film slate that actually we should be getting distribution papers for today to launch those. So that's one thing over here, on top of he has a studio in Atlanta that we'll be a part of. Then I have another partner. She's in Geneva, Switzerland, where her and I together with one more person are doing a film studio in Africa. It's Abidjan, the west coast of Africa. The building's already there. They're renovating and everything. So that started from LinkedIn. So she were looking for women entrepreneurs, and she came across my profile and wanted to do an interview, and we talked. And she's like, I'm trying to launch Africa. Are you interested? I was like, absolutely. And so she started telling me she already had investors lined up and everything. So we partnered with it, and I helped her write the business plan and everything we wanted to do there, because she wanted the U.S. connection and not just be solely based in Africa or adding Switzerland to it. So I was her connection there. And then LinkedIn provided me with two wonderful mentors who've been in the business for over 40 years. One of them was the original Superman villain in the 1960s, Jack O'Halloran, amazing guy, and Mr. Joe Kaufman. So those are my mentors. So it's just the meeting this person to meet this person to meet that person. So that's how it happened for us to end up having a studio in Africa, part owners in a studio in Atlanta. So we're building, so we're able to comfortably say, all right, that's it, let's go.
And then you can jump in and say, we've got income from all these different places coming in. We don't have to have the job anymore.
Right.
And you feel confident you're going to get there by the end of the year is your plan.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
happening. Like
Nice.
things are literally happening each day. It's frustrating, but it's happening each day. When you're waiting on one person to do one thing, you're like, all right, come on. But I know it's going to happen because we're right there. We have everything in place.
And the 9 kids are all off on their own.
Yep, doing their thing.
Doing
So
their
the
thing.
last of the Mohicans, the twins, my boy's a Marine, and our daughter is here. She goes to Trinity Christian. So she's technically still at home.
In college.
Yeah.
Wow.
But everybody else is super grown, like paying taxes. And my husband would say, wearing deodorant and paying taxes.
Well, and you've done so much, and now you have a whole new chapter of what you're going to do. And we love that you came here and shared this with us, and really your passion to live your dream and keep pursuing it no matter what, while balancing all the other things. And we thank you for being here on today's episode of Women in Work. If you were inspired by this story today, remember to share it with a friend, leave a review, and subscribe to meet our next amazing guest. If you want to invest in a solution to the childcare crisis, check out MomSub's equity crowdfunding campaign at momsub.com/invest, or connect with MomSub on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and our other social media channels. That's MomSub, like a substitute mom. And remember, your career, your choices, and your success are yours to define. So keep pushing boundaries and spreading your love and encouragement to other women who need it.